Welcome to the Eczema Warrior podcast. I'm your host, Julia Chen. I'm here to help you heal your eczema naturally so you can finally live your best damn life. Many years ago in my own eczema healing journey, I was stuck and confused on how to heal my skin. Fast forward to today, after many lessons learned and lots of trial and error, I'm now living my best life and traveling the world with clearer skin. If you're an eczema or TSW warrior who desires a life of food freedom and is wanting to heal your skin without steroids while using mindset and manifestation as a tool, you're in the right place. Now let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 61 on the Eczema Warrior podcast. I have a very exciting announcement. I am doing a free training. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. The last time I did a free training was back in January, which honestly felt like a long time. I think just in general, even though the last 4 months have gone by really quickly, at the same time, it also feels like it has gone by really slow. Does anybody feel that? Does anybody feel kind of the energies like there's a void, but then also it's like very fast paced? But then it's also like very slow because I feel like that's the energy I've been in. It's like I'm hustling and doing all the things, but everything's kind of like slow moving. I feel like I'm kind of like in a time machine, but not really. I don't know. It's just been a wild 3 months. So anyways, the training I did back in January, even though it was literally just 4 months ago, it feels like more recent. And I felt called to do another training with you guys. It's one of the things I love doing is to go on live. I'm going to be doing this training on Zoom. So if you want to learn all about how to simplify your current healing protocol to make it easier for your healing, then you definitely want to come to this training. I'm going to be debunking the myth about needing to do all the things when it comes to healing the inflammation and symptoms you're experiencing. We're going to streamline your diet, streamline your supplements to the best of my ability, of course, because everyone's protocol is going to be very different. But I'm going to be offering some valuable insight and tips to do that. So if you're someone who is struggling with inflammation of any sort, whether it's eczema, bloating, digestive problems, constipation, headaches, fatigue, mood swings, anything related around inflammation that's showing up in your body, with whether it's physically or emotionally, then this training is going to be for you. And you don't have to be on a protocol in order to attend this training. You could just be someone who is interested in holistic healing. I would still definitely come to the training just because you're going to be learning so much on just knowing where to start. If you're new to your journey and you don't know where to start, this is going to be helpful. If you are further into your journey and you've been doing all the things and it's not working, it's also going to be helpful for you. And this training is going to be more for adults because some of the recommendations are more applicable for adults. So just keep in mind of that in case some of you who have children with inflammation, it could be applicable when it comes to diet, but supplement-wise and other parts of the protocol isn't going to be applicable for children. So if that interests you, then I encourage you to go to my show notes below. There's a link to register for the free training to save your spot. The training is going to be Sunday, April 21st at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST. If you're outside of this time zone, just make sure that you know what time zone it is from where you are. But yeah, it's going to be on Sunday, April 21st, 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST. If you want to save your spot, I would register right away because there are going to be limited seats for this time's Zoom training. And yeah, I'm excited to see you guys there. If you have anything you want me to cover specifically on this topic, feel free to email me and let me know, or even Instagram DM me at juliachen.rd. I'll be sharing more details as to what to expect in the training on my Instagram stories. So look out for that. And I'm excited to see you guys there. Okay, so let's jump right into today's episode. This episode topic came to me this week as I've been coaching my clients inside Clear Eczema, which is my 6-month coaching program. seeing my one-on-one clients this week. And I also did a presentation for a good friend of mine. She's a spiritual healer. She has a group program as well. And I was his guest speaker to talk about the mind-body connection. And one of the topics and questions that have come up consistently is stress and burnout. And you guys know me when it comes to healing inflammation or eczema or whatever you're experiencing. Nothing is going to work in terms of your diet and supplements if you don't work on your stress. And that's just the reality of it. And so that's why this week's episode, I want to specifically talk about burnout, because I think a lot of people are experiencing burnout, are experiencing a lot of stress, but we don't actually have the proper tools in place and the proper coping mechanisms to help us heal from stress and to help us get out of burnout. So let's go into what exactly is burnout. So we know what stress is. Stress is basically anything related to your relationships, to your social life, to work, to career, to business. Stress can also be psychological, so your thoughts and your emotions and your mindset. And there's also situational stress, which is basically when there's a certain event that happens in your life or is happening in your life and you're stressed from that. And it could actually be a good stress. For example, if you have a wedding coming up, we all know weddings are amazing. But the problem with weddings is that it's a lot of planning. It can be very stressful leading up to your wedding. So that can also be a type of stress as well. Now, the difference between stress and burnout is basically when you have prolonged exposure to stress. So you have stress going on that has developed over time, months, maybe even years. And you basically reach the point where you have complete physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion. And if we're applying this to your healing journey, for example, a lot of you guys actually experience burnout from doing a lot to heal your body, because there is a lot to do, right? There's like people telling you to go on a diet. There's people telling you to go take these supplements and do all these things. And so a lot of us are actually burnt out from thinking about how to heal, from searching how to heal, from doing all the things that we don't actually realize this can become chronic stress, which then leads to burnout. Not to forget the stress that you experience in your daily life, right? Your relationship stress, work stress, financial stress, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so the problem with a lot of people nowadays is we don't know how to prevent burnout from happening. And it happens without you really expecting it because you're just so used to having stress in your life. You don't even know what it's like to feel normal. And then when you reach the point of burnout, this is when it becomes very, 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 very difficult to heal. And so we don't want to get to that point. So what are some common burnout symptoms? So when people think of burnout, I think a lot of us think, oh, burnout is just like, I'm just exhausted and tired and I can't think straight. But it can actually show up in all systems of the body, or it can show up in one particular system depending on, everyone's body. Obviously, if you are listening to this podcast episode, it's on eczema. So a lot of you who experience burnout will experience massive eczema flares. That's the thing when it comes to stress and eczema. When you reach burnout, the flares are quite intense and it's quite widespread. Because think about it, right? When you have underlying stress unmanaged, it's like that hidden inflammation that is kind of just brewing in the background and you're not doing anything about it. And then once you reach the point where your body gives up, then it's going to explode on you. And then that's when massive inflammation can occur. So that's one example, right? Eczema being a symptom of burnout. Now, if we're looking at physical symptoms, burnout can also look like headaches. You're getting migraines all the time. You're waking up feeling, just generally not good. You have general fatigue. When you feel dizzy, if you stand up, you feel dizzy. If you sit down, you feel dizzy. I've actually experienced this in my journey of healing burnout. I burnt out back in 2021 when I was first starting my business. And I remember back in the day, I didn't feel burnt out, but I remember I would stand up after working a long day and I would get really dizzy and lightheaded. And at first I was just like, oh, maybe I just stood up too fast or I just didn't eat enough in that day. But looking back now, I was definitely burnt out because first of all, I experienced a massive flare and I was dizzy all the time. Another symptom of burnout is if you're noticing muscle and joint pain, That's inflammation in the body, right? And it's showing up in that part of the body. Emotionally, you can also experience burnout symptoms. So if you're noticing lately you've been more irritable, you've been extremely drained, you're having mood swings, everyone pisses you off, you're very triggered, and maybe you're noticing more anger recently. And then, of course, some people have depression, and that can also be a symptom of burnout as well. And then, of course, your gastrointestinal system, your GI system, if you are experiencing diarrhea, constipation, bloating, gas, gut infections, anything that's abnormal going on in the gut can also be a symptom of burnout. And then lastly, hormones. You guys know I talk about how PMS isn't normal. I shared that actually in the last episode. So if you want to learn more about how to heal PMS and what's that all about, I would go to episode 60. So if you're experiencing PMS symptoms every month, pain, heavy periods, just generally feeling not well every month, that can also be a result of stress and burnout. See a lot of clients with PMS, and usually the clients who have PMS are also very stressed out clients. If your adrenals are fatigued as a result of burnout and stress, then you're going to notice you're feeling tired and wired. I'm sure you guys have heard about that before. Being tired and wired means that you're literally tired and just feeling groggy most days during the day. But then when you go to bed at night, you're just wide awake. You're wide awake and you can't sleep. And it makes a lot of sense because your cortisol levels are high when you're stressed, and that tends to rise at nighttime when your adrenals are overworked, which then causes you to have insomnia and just feel wide awake. So those are the common symptoms: physical, emotional, skin, GI, and hormones that I really want you to just reflect on and seeing if any of these symptoms you're noticing. Obviously, there's more than that. Some people experience other symptoms. I'm not going to go through all of that because it'll take forever. But these, I would say, would be the most common symptoms if you're experiencing burnout, and especially if you know that you are a very stressed out person. That being said, these symptoms can also be a result of a poor diet or gut dysbiosis. But for this episode, if you know that you are a hard worker, that you're a perfectionist, that you have been very stressed lately, then it makes a lot of sense if you're also experiencing the symptoms. So in order to heal burnout effectively, I think you guys know this, there's only one way to heal burnout and to heal stress, and that is to practice mindfulness. And it's less about knowing to do it, it's actually doing it. And I don't mean like it has to be this whole thing where it takes hours of your day to meditate, to journal. No, okay? If it's new to you, start with 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes mindfulness, whether it's meditation or breath work. Do it every single day. The week after, okay, you notice that you're more consistent with it. Let's increase it to 10 minutes a day, right? Slowly work it up, especially if you're new to it. It might seem like a lot, but if you're serious about your healing and you really want to get out of this cycle of burnout and feeling like shit all the time, then you need to implement mindfulness practice in your routine every single day. If you are doing the work with your diet and supplements, why can't we put that same amount of energy or even more energy into the mindfulness if the mindfulness is going to be more powerful, which a lot of times it is, especially if your root causes are stress, right? It's the only way. You can't supplement your way out of stress. So we need to have proper tools to support our mindset, to reduce cortisol levels that spike up when you're stressed, to get yourself out of the fight or flight mode, to regulate your nervous system, because all of this is going to heal your body holistically. And then as a result, you will see all of these symptoms heal. Okay? And the last thing I want to mention too is if you are already burnt out, and I don't want to sound like a downer, but it's going to take longer to heal. It's a longer recovery compared to just stress because now you've kind of reached that point where you're completely just exhausted, right? The intervention is going to be more intense. You have to be very diligent and consistent with your mindfulness practice, and you're not going to see instant results right away. Nothing happens instantly, especially if you've been dealing with this for quite some time. It's going to take some time to reverse it. But just remember that the recovery might be longer, but just remain consistent, keep implementing your mindfulness practice, and you will start to feel better day by day. And that's basically how you heal burnout. Of course, if you need help with supporting your body as you're healing from burnout through nutrition, through supplements, and the lifestyle changes, I'm here to support you. This is exactly what I do inside my practice in my 6-month Clear Eczema coaching program. We focus a lot on mindfulness, but all other areas to help you heal all of your symptoms holistically. If you want to apply, go to the show notes below to apply for Clear Eczema. And then if you're someone who doesn't experience eczema and you're dealing with these symptoms or other inflammation, I also help my clients as well. I have another mentorship program that actually is new. I haven't announced it, but it's something that I do for my other clients who don't have eczema and they want support. I have a mentorship program. I also see clients in a package style. So if that interests you, then you can send me an email, which is in the show notes below, and I would love to support you on your healing journey. And that's what I have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you take action towards managing your stress. Take care of yourself. This is so important. You can't serve your people. You can't show up for yourself. You can't show up for your loved ones and work, etc. when you're burnt out and when you're not feeling good, right? So this is a reminder to end off this episode, to slow down, to give yourself healing, to give yourself grace, give yourself compassion, and really, really take care of yourself during this time. All right. I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I love you guys so much. Happy healing. Let me know how things go, and we will see you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Now, before I let you go, I want to let you know I have this amazing eczema visualization. This visualization has helped me so much when it comes to manifesting eczema healing flares faster than I can ever imagine, reducing the itch, and just feeling great in my body. This is the exact same visualization I use for my own healing as well as my clients' healing as well. And if you want to receive this visualization, then all you have to do is leave us a review and tell us what you think about the podcast, screenshot it, send it to your email at hello@juliachin.ca, and you will receive the visualization to your inbox. I look forward to seeing your review, and we will see you in the next episode.